All right, cool. I'm here with Daylan Gideon. Daylan, how you doing, man?
I'm feeling good. Just ready to do part two of this interview.
Part two, 2 years later.
2 years later, but a lot has changed. But I'm happy we back here finishing up what we started.
Right. Exactly. Now, what exactly has changed in these 2 years? I think this was the first interview was before even Isaiah Thomas. So, a lot of stuff has changed since then, man. How has it been for you?
Really like things. I'm really happy like with like the growth, especially we put out Thanks for Waiting last year, which I felt like did a lot for me. Had a lot of records that like people were really receptive to, and headlined at the Masquerade 2 or 3 times last year, which was dope. All three sold out events. Starboy out now. That's a new single. If y'all ain't got that, go grab that. Starboy video just dropped 2 days ago. And I got the new project For My Dogs on the way too. So just really a lot of growth, a lot of new music out, a lot of new music on the way. And that's like really just like the major changes that I feel like we've had since the last time we sat down and spoke, really.
Right now, what's like speaking of those changes and all that, how have you grown and matured as just a person since then? I know we were 2 years younger that back then, so how is everything like that maturity wise?
Maturity wise, I feel like if anything, I just really learned from not even my mistakes, because I don't even count as mistakes, but I just learned from decisions that I made in the past. Like musically, I feel like I kind of like found my niche with everything. Like I feel like I found my sound. I feel like I've matured as an artist, as a person. Just really just knowing what I want to do now. When I was making music originally with you, I felt like I was making a lot of music, but I didn't really know what my message was to the people or really what I wanted to be as an artist or who I was as an artist. Now, like, I know, you know what I mean? I know what my message is. I know what my point is I'm trying to get across. And that's pretty much it, man. I just feel like I found myself as an artist, and I feel like my sound is really matured, you know what I mean? And I'm really coming to my own, really.
Right. Now, what is that voice? What is the message? What is the image of Daylan Gideon?
Yeah, great question. I feel like right now, even with my newest single, Starboy, like really just preaching to anybody that like we really could do this. You know what I'm saying? Whatever goal you have in mind, like you really could do that with the new project For My Dogs. Like my main message that I'm trying to convey and like get across to the people really is that the people around you, those are the ones who are gonna inspire you the most. So I want to let the people know, like around me, that like I'm inspired by them and that we really could do this. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people they get started on things in life, whether me maybe going to school or at a job or whatever it is, but they don't want to finish it. So my goal right now is just like do what you want to be yourself, and I feel like through that you can accomplish anything as long as you trust your gut instinct. So right now, like the message in the music really is just like following your gut, being yourself, and just always remembering like the people around you, like those are the most important. Your friends, your family, your brothers, the people that you grow up with. Like that's really the message I'm trying to push right now.
Right. Now, speaking of the people around you and all that, one guy that's also on this channel is Suave. It's your boy, and since I've interviewed him, he signed with Metro, and he was actually supposed to be in the interview today. We were gonna do a joint thing. How you feel about just the growth around not just you, but the people around you?
As far as like the growth around me, like I feel like it's dope. Like I feel like everybody who I started off making music with, like even if you look at like, aside from Suave, like the Mob County tape, like everybody is like coming into their own. So as far as like Suave, like it's real dope just seeing him come into his own and like really like just solidifying with the people everything that we've been known. Like we've been known what we could do, so to see it come to fruition is like dope to me. Like I feel like he really deserves it. So just watching everybody around me kind of just like take off and continue to grow their fan bases is dope, because like at the end of the day, like these are things that we've been known about ourselves. We just wanted the world to know. So by us just doing ourselves and continue to grow and make more music, it's dope seeing other people who recognize that and feel like it's as dope as we think it is.
Right now, first of all, shout out to Popstar FM. How has it been for you guys? Like, kind of like, because it was like you all were in the same group about 2015, 2014, but it's kind of like y'all kind of went this way, and y'all kind of went this way. Y'all growing in y'all own ways, but y'all not really in the moving in the same spots. How is your relationship with those guys?
Yeah, as far as like everybody that was like on the Mob County tape and like back then, you know, like was doing the shows and stuff, like we was doing a lot of stuff together. Um, I still talk to Rob every day. That's my brother. So I'm gonna let that be what it is. You know what I mean? I don't want to go too deep into it, but I still talk to Rob every day. That's my brother. We actually got a show at Masquerade coming up May 25th. Tickets will be on sale next week. But a lot of those dudes, like when I see them out, it's all love. We might not always like speak all the time and see everybody all the time, but like those are my brothers. Like that was like a real cool wave a talent, and like those are really good times. Like those are some of my first shows, and like a lot of people didn't find, like a lot of people, they found out about me through that. So those are still my brothers, still family, still love. It's just like, you know, when you get older, I feel like everybody realizes like, okay, I got to make something happen. So people, it's not that we go our separate ways, but we're so focused on getting off our projects that it's kind of hard always trying to like include people or do things with the group of people when you got stuff you got to do yourself, you know?
Right. Now, do you think like as you get bigger, you know, you sold out Masquerades last year, and you know you're continuing to move up and progress and get more attention in your career? Do you think? Because I think about this often too. Like I kind of, you know, every now and then I miss 2015 when everybody was trying to get on. Everybody was just happy to get 1,000 plays, 2,000 plays. The Turtletopias. And to see Turtletopia grow into what it was that last show, to where the cops had to shut it down, and when Yachty was underground, do you ever miss those days?
Yeah, I miss them. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like I'm the type of person, like I'm trying to get better at this, but I feel like I always like to reflect, and sometimes you got to move past those moments to create new moments. So I do miss those moments a lot. Like I said, it was a great time. Like I met like a lot of friends, and like it's almost like nostalgic. You know what I'm saying? Like just thinking about that. Like we were really doing shows in someone's garage, and it was like 200 people, 300 people showing up, and it was like a big block party, but we're turning up in someone's garage with a makeshift stage because like at the time, like we didn't have no other way. So it was like that's all we had. We had to make the best out of it. So I do miss those times. I think about them a lot. It would be dope for everyone to come back together, you know what I'm saying, eventually, and maybe do something like that for the city, for the culture, especially for Cobb. Like, you know, the people who grew up in Cobb, they know what that meant for Cobb. But I do miss it. I think about it a lot, but great times, for real, for real.
Right now, like moving on a little more personal, your brother, man, I remember around the time that I first interviewed you, you know, that was when he first got on with Atlanta's United's club team, and, you know, he was on the club level and all that. So how is he growing and stuff? Man?
Yeah.
How is he doing?
Man, shout out Dawson. I like this interview. These are good questions. But Dawson, he actually just committed to play at Mercer, which he's expected to get some time as a freshman. You know what I mean? Which I feel like going into sports, a lot of people, they go play at these big D1 schools and all these big universities, but they got a lot of people in front of them. So for him to be able to get the opportunity to play if he does what he's supposed to do, I feel like that's super dope. And I'm just proud of him. He just turned 18 like 2 weeks ago. And I'm just proud of him. The family's proud of him. We just get excited. And I'm excited to catch some of the games and really see what he could do. You know what I mean? Hopefully he can get to the league off of this, you know?
Right. Now, speaking of the league and your brother, one of his closest friends is the big star, Andrew Carlton. How is it having a guy like Andrew Carlton in your corner, always supporting you and always shouting you out on Twitter and stuff after your shows?
Man, it's crazy because Andrew is like my little brother, you know what I'm saying? We grew up together, and we knew at a young age, like he was always fire at soccer. Like we just knew, you know what I'm saying? Like from the time we was kids to time now, like it was kind of like we just knew. So to have him have the platform he has now, and for him to like look out for me and like show me love and like shout me out in interviews, it just goes to show, like I said earlier, your friends and your family are really what matters most. The fact that we still had that genuine connection, and this is someone who doesn't really owe me anything or doesn't have to do that, but they still do it. It's just, you know, just stands to his character. You know what I mean? Like, it's super dope that every time I drop, he's supporting and he's really coming out to the shows and putting people under my music, because that's a whole nother group of people and a group of fans that now I can have through him. So, Andrew, I appreciate that, bro. For real, for real.
Right. Now, you and Suave, like, kind of one thing that you guys have down is the image. Yeah. Like on the Instagram, on social media, the pictures you post, you guys just look like you guys have a mysterious look about you, y'all. Yeah. And it's like people just like, man, those guys must be important. You know what I'm saying? Even if they don't know y'all. Yeah. So it's like, how is that? How do you keep up that image and still be yourself? Like, you know, because I'm sure everybody wants to just be like, oh, dang, I want to put on some jeans today instead of, you know, be all on point every single day.
You know what's crazy? So I'm gonna tell this story. Me and Suave, we actually met each other like through clothes. Like he went to school with my little brother, and he just saw I would be coming to school every like to pick up my brother, and I'd be fresh. And he hit me in the DMs, was like, "Yo, bro, like da 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 da, like you be on the fly stuff. I be on the fly stuff too." And through that, that's how me and him originally got cool. So honestly, like just growing up for me, like being fresh, your image, like it's always been everything, you know what I'm saying? I probably spend like a little bit too much money on clothes. I'm trying to cut back on that, but for me, it's just something I love. It's not necessarily about like fitting in or trying to look a certain way. It's just about me really just doing what I like and what I feel like is cool. I feel like nowadays a lot of people, they dress, but they dress for the acceptance of others. For me, I'm just doing what I like to do and what I've been doing, and you know, this is what we do. You know what I mean? If I'm not making music, like honestly, like I'm probably on Grailed or on YouTube searching something about clothes or something. So I just have like a passion just for getting fly. And like I said, your image is everything. I don't think like a lot of people understand that. Like, how can I say that I want to be an artist or want to be anything where I'm going to be in front of the camera or in front of people's eyes, but I don't want to present myself the right way to the people. So you got to stay clean, whether that's just how you dress, whether that's how you're shooting your videos, whatever it is, just visually, your aesthetic has to be appealing if you're going to be in front of the camera, you know?
Right. Now, with that, do you think like kind of down the line when music kind of puts you in a position to be a little more comfortable, to move into fashion and test those waters?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. Like I definitely would not mind like doing collaborations and stuff like that. As far as like maybe like doing a brand or anything like that, I'm probably cool on that aspect of it. But
no big baller brand?
Nah, no, no big baller brand for me. But I mess with their movement though. But I definitely would do like collaborations, but it just would have to be like a brand that I like. Like I see a lot of people, no shade to some of these brands, but like they'll take deals with brands that they don't even wear their clothes or their shoes before they took that deal. And I feel like a lot of these guys, they do it for the bag. But I mean, who's to say? Maybe, maybe someone.
I'll do it for the bag. I mean,
maybe if someone puts 10 million in front of my face, that might change my opinion. But definitely, like the right brand came with the right situation. I would love to do like some collaborations. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, speaking of fashion and music, a guy that we kind of all grew up on in this generation, Kanye. He's a hot topic of the week, man. How you feeling about Kanye?
I feel like Kanye, and I want to say the right thing when I'm saying this. So I feel like what he's doing, maybe his fan base didn't necessarily need him to come out and do that. You know what I'm saying? Because there are a lot of people who Trump has affected and angered. And with him aligning himself with that, it kind of looks like he's supporting it. But until Kanye speaks on camera and really like explains what he's trying to, like his angle with this is, I'm not going to write him completely off. I don't agree with it, but I would love to see what his message is going to be, because I don't feel like he necessarily is going to come out and say he's supporting Trump politically. I feel like it's going to be something about like maybe his not caring what people say or whatever. At the end of the day, I'm not defending Kanye. I don't necessarily agree with it. I feel like his fan base didn't need that. He didn't need that. But at the end of the day, that's another grown man. His opinion is his opinion. But I just am interested to see, like, what is his angle on this? Because, like I said, I don't necessarily feel like he needed to do that. And he doesn't need the publicity or the promo. So I just want to see what his angle is. Now if he comes out and he says that he really supports Trump, that'll be disappointing. But until I can really hear what he says, I'm not gonna just like crucify him. You know what I mean? I want to really get the angle of what he's saying before we just be like, oh, Kanye's a racist, or he supports Trump, or he doesn't care about his people. I just want to see what he has to say. You know what I mean? Give the man a chance to speak.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the problems kind of with today's social media, Twitter in general. One person says something and one person doesn't like it, so they kind of like type in all caps. And if it gets more than 1,000 retweets, then another 1,000 people are gonna be like, "Oh, I think I should agree with that because it has 1,000 retweets," and it jumps like that. But man, what do you think? Of how you need to move and all that in this generation that's so focused on every single thing. Like, say you can have a music video and you got a bunch of girls in it, but the girls were light skin or brown skin, and you ain't have no dark skin girls. Then everybody gonna be called, oh, we canceling Daylan Gideon. How conscious are you of every single move nowadays with social media?
I definitely feel like it is important to definitely be careful what you put out there, but don't overthink it too much. Because at the end of the day, you have people that are gonna be like just I think the word is it sticklers or stiflers?
We gonna move on.
Yeah, y'all know what I mean. But you're gonna have those people that kind of like nitpick. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's a stifler.
I think so too. Yeah. But you're gonna have the people that nitpick, and at the end of the day, it's like it is tough. We're in a social media era, but people have to understand like even a non-famous person could put out a tweet and offend people. So with us putting out anything onto the internet, there's always the risk of people not agreeing with what you're saying or doing. So it's like I could try to worry about those people, but at the end of the day, you can't focus on it too much, but you do have to be mindful. So it's really tough, you know what I mean? Because like definitely be mindful. You don't want to offend anybody, but there are going to be people who just find anything just to pick at you or be annoying or have something to talk about. So yeah, definitely be mindful of what you're saying, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like no matter what you do, once you get to a platform where you're big enough, you're always going to be under the lens. So no matter what, you're going to get criticized for any little small thing. So it's like, there's nothing you can really do about it, but just kind of go, maybe just think out things. If you feel like something might be controversial or a line might be controversial, maybe you change it before you put it out. But sometimes, you put it out before you get a chance to do that or you get to think about it. So maybe just like really just thinking things out before you do it. But at the end of the day, how much can I really think it out when you got people who are always going to be like critiquing everything you do,
Right. Now, how many songs you got in the vault right now?
Honestly, I'd probably say like a good 70. Thanks for Waiting, that was 6 songs, but I recorded a lot of material for Thanks for Waiting last October that came out that didn't make that. And I've been recording For My Dogs since last October, and I've probably done like about a good 50 songs for that. It's going to be 13 songs in total. So I'd probably say like about a good 70 songs because I'm real like picky. Like I know a lot of people feel like you got to do like the Future method nowadays and like just try to like pump out music. Yeah. But me, like I'm a couple singles, project, give people time to digest it and then come back when I know I'm putting out my best effort. I don't want to just feed the people music that's not necessarily my best, and that's how I am. I like to put my best foot forward with everything I do.
How often do you have songs, say, like, is it once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, daily?
As far as like recording?
Like, yeah, a new song. Yeah.
I probably go to the studio. So, all right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go to the studio every day in a 7-week span. Sometimes I go 3 times. Sometimes I go 2. It's really about me feeling inspired. But one thing about me that's weird, I don't know if other artists do this, but like I'm always constantly like thinking about music or thinking about lines or thinking about concepts because I don't write. Everything that I do is a freestyle. So it's like I try to just store certain emotions or certain moments in my mind so that when I do get to record, it's there and I could just let it out. So I'd probably say it just varies. Like some weeks, like I said, I go record every single day. Sometimes I record 2 or 3 times. Some weeks, I may go a week without recording because I feel like I don't want to force anything. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, I'd probably say on average, I probably record about 3 times a week. You know what I'm saying? Right. It was different when I was recording in my room, in my in-home studio. I was making music every day, but now I'm a studio guy. I love the studio. That's just what gets me in the vibe. I used to be like a in-home type of guy, but I just love being in studios now, you know, and recording. It's a different vibe.
Well, what is it about the studios that you like more?
Oh, man. Number one, when you go to studios, a lot of times you're on time. I don't just have these big 12-hour blocks. I might be doing like 4-hour blocks or 2-hour blocks, 3-hour blocks, 5-hour blocks, whatever. So it's like with you knowing you're on time, it's almost like it gets me geared up to feel like, dang, I gotta go crazy because I'm on time, as opposed to like, oh, you know, I'm in the crib. If I don't finish this right now, I'll come back to it later or whatever. Or I don't have to record today because I got the studio in my room or whatever. When you're in that studio and you on time, you gonna go crazy every time because you're like, damn, I'm here. I'm in the studio. I'm in a vibe. I got people in here with me. Let me try to like, you know, do my best because, you know, I'm on time. You know, really, that's really, I feel like what it is. That inspires me. Just knowing that you're on time, you're paying for something, is money involved too, so let's make the best thing that we can make, you know?
Right. But I feel like with studios, you also have kind of like a little bit of pressure that comes with that. Yeah. And then like, I feel if it's pressure and everybody's so serious, then you might not make the best, kind of the most free sounding, you know, art. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I will say this. It was an adjustment for me. I used to be the type of person that would record at the house by myself in a room, like with the doors closed, lights off, like real private. Now, I actually enjoy having people in the room because I feel like I vibe off of their energy. And it's like I can almost look at their face and see their reaction when I'm seeing things. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to like when you're in a room and you're by yourself, sometimes, I might think everything is fire. But when I'm recording with Devin, who's my go-to producer, executive producer of my new project, he might be like, yo, bro, that's corny. Or I might be in the studio on my homie screen. He might be like, bro, nah, do that again. And sometimes, you know, I may not want to change it, but if I hear it back and I agree with them, I'm like, oh, like, let me change that. Like, let me do something better. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like for me, it's really no pressure. I thrive in them type of situations where it might be 3 or 4 people in the room, you know what I'm saying? Or 5 people in the room. Or even if I'm by myself, to me, it's no pressure. Like, I guess maybe too, like the studio that I'm at is comfortable for me. It's relaxing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm used to it. But I will say it was an adjustment for me at first, but now I go in there, no pressure, no nothing. I'm doing what I love. So it is what it is.
Right. Now, wrapping up now, anything else that you want to shout out? Anybody you want to shout out right now? Let the people know what's coming out, the exact dates, because we already heard the projects and stuff, but let's get some dates going.
Right now, no shout outs. I'm not going to shout out nobody today. You know what I'm saying? But I will tell people what I'm working on. Right now, what I'm working on is For My Dogs. I'm treating it like an album. It's really another project, but putting my best foot forward with that. I don't have a date for you guys yet, but it's done. Mix and master, all that. We're good to go on that. I'll probably say it'll come out after the headlining show at the Masquerade, which is the 25th of May. So early June, first week, second week of June. Working on this singer named Chloe. She's super dope. Helping her out, helping her get that project done. Me and Suave have an album together called Dre Day. Super fire. Getting that done. More videos on the way. More content on the way. Just a lot of dope stuff on the way. I got some songs with some people y'all probably be surprised to see me working with. I don't really want to say no names on camera because like I don't necessarily know if they're going to come out. Don't want to jinx it, you know what I mean? So hopefully them records come out. But that's pretty much it. For My Dogs, the album, on the way, Masquerade headlining show. Also, an official show with A3C coming up soon, which like I'm super happy about that. Like growing up in Atlanta, like people know what A3C meant to the city, means to the city. So for me to have an official show with them, not just like some showcase someone's putting together, like that's dope. So that's coming out too. So
yeah, first of all, shout out A3C, man. I used to ride with them when I was in school and stuff. So shout out A3C. But yeah, man. Last time you left a little gem for the people, and you predicted the future. You said we couldn't let a reality TV star become the president of the United States. Now, me as a journalist, I'm neutral, so I don't know exactly if, but whatever. What do you have to say for the people now? What's for the culture now?
Man.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You have to get this right. Like,
Yeah. All right. This is what I'll say. Trump is in office. A lot of people who did support him in the beginning have changed their opinions on him, which goes to show, like, dang, like, you have people who supported this man and now he's in office and they really regret putting him in office. At the end of the day, we have him for 2 more years, 3 more years. It was 2 more years, 3 more, one of the two. Yeah. But don't let that man affect what we have going on. As us as people, we just got to continue to be on our hustle, be on our grind, do what we could do to make our situation better. And in that next election, y'all know what to do. Y'all got to come out to them polls and y'all got to vote. You know what I'm saying? Like I said last time, people feel like it doesn't matter, but let's go all out. Let's show up to the polls. Let's try to get someone else in office. And let's just not let that man affect us. At the end of the day, he has a lot of power, but let's not give him more power than what he already has. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue to focus on ourselves, be better as ourselves, and when we get that chance to get him out of office, let's do that. That's really all I have to say about that situation. Let's just get him out the office, and y'all come out to them polls. That's really it, man. Get out to them polls, vote, man. DG, supporting going to the polls, man. Y'all get out to the polls. It was a 2020 election.
Right. Appreciate you. For the culture. But while you were answering that, I have one more question. Are we still all right? We still running. All right, one more question. So, I think this generation, with activism being such a big trendy thing, I think there's some artists that feel like that's not their thing, like conscious isn't their thing, but they kind of try to force a conscious line into just to please the people and just to fit in. Yeah. Like, where do you stand on when to put activism in your lines and your music?
I just feel like educate yourself. Like me, that's not necessarily my message musically, but as you see, I'm on the record, I'm on camera, letting you guys know how I feel about this situation. You know what I'm saying? But if you are gonna do that, educate yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, I may not necessarily be educated the most to speak on certain things. Maybe I need to educate myself more, and that is what I will tell the youth and tell these artists and other people. It's just like, do your homework, educate yourself, so when you do speak, you're not making ignorant statements. You're making statements that you have factual evidence to back up, and that's really what it is. Like, just make sure you're educated. I'm not opposed to it, but just make sure that if you are going to come out and speak or have these lines, that you know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really it. Just make sure you're educated, because you have people that look at you and support you, and you might be their only voice, or the only way that they're going to get this knowledge is through your music. So you don't want to give someone the incorrect knowledge just trying to fit in or start a trend, you know what I'm saying, or fit into the trend. So that's really it. Just make sure you're educated on those things if you're going to do it. Me personally, my message musically is not really like super politically. I'm just speaking more off of my life experiences, trying to let kids know I'm going through similar things, and that just telling my story, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it, what I have to say about that.
All right, stay that way, please, because we don't need anybody forcing any more lines. No Black Lives Matter just because it's the hot thing. I appreciate you, DG. Daylan Gideon, Rashad, Milligan, we out.